Mr. President, dear colleagues, the civil war in Syria is a great tragedy. The level of suffering is difficult to understand. It's urgent that we condemn the war crimes and call for prosecutions of those who are responsible. Earlier today, we discussed the refugee crisis here in the plenary. A large part of the refugees coming to Europe are on a desperate run away from the war crimes of Daesh and the Assad regime. Often, far too often, there is a discussion that I think is actually quite relevant. That is, how can we secure and help refugees in their own countries and in neighboring countries so they don't have to run away to Europe? I think that we all agree, all of us in the Assembly today, that the aim of our work, the aim of our countries, the aim of world policy should be that no one was forced to flee. And if they are forced to flee, they should not be forced to flee very far. And actually, if we look at the numbers today, it's clear that the large majority of refugees are internally displaced in their own countries or living just in the neighboring countries around. But here there is a great lack of help. Dear colleagues, the UN is not getting sufficient funding. There's not enough money coming to those programs that should help the people in need. Not in Syria and not in the neighboring countries. Dear colleagues, it's time to act. I would like to point your attention to the fact that if we look at Syria today, if we look at northern Syria, northeastern part of Syria, there are large areas liberated by pro-democratic and Kurdish forces. Here, there are millions of civilians living that are being protected by those pro-democratic forces. Many of our countries use these Kurdish and pro-democratic forces as foot soldiers in the fight against Daesh. But the civilians in these areas do not get aid, do not get the food and the medicine they need. And actually, they experience that they are being attacked by Turkey, that they are under blockade, a humanitarian blockade, not only from Daesh, not only from the Assad regime, but also from Turkey. Dear friends, this is unacceptable. If we want peace and stability in Turkey and in Syria, it's time to act. Let's help the pro-democratic and Kurdish forces to protect the civilians in their area. Let's secure that also the pro-democratic forces are included in the peace process taking place and not excluded as they are today. And let's state clear that humanitarian aid should not be a tool of war. It is a basic right for all. Dear colleagues, if we do not support those forces in Syria that defend our values today, I'm sure we will bitterly regret it in the future, and the millions of civilians there will not get the help they need. Thank you.